Hey guys, welcome back to another Gundam card game unboxing. Today I've picked up my first booster box for this, and since I do plan on playing Gundam card game, I got to stock up on not just cool looking cards to collect, but also to play the game. If you missed my previous video where I unboxed some sleeved Set 2 GD02 booster packs and a few just loose Newtype Rising packs, I encourage you to go watch that video because, man, it was a really good one. That's all I'm going to say. No spoilers as my introduction to Gundam card game. And because of that, I went out to a local card store and picked up a booster box from them. Fairly priced. I mean, pretty much market price, but I would much rather pick up a booster box from a local card store than from someone online. I'd rather support a card store where I plan on playing the game at and let them know that there's new players coming in that want to support the game, support their store. So I encourage you guys to do the same, but let's open this up. There are 24 packs inside of here, and I'll kind of give you guys the breakdown if you've never seen it open before in terms of like what you can expect. I have watched quite a few unboxings of this, so I am pretty aware. Oh, okay. I wasn't aware. One thing I wasn't aware of are Bandai boxes not having like the thing where you can flip it over and like stick it behind as a display box. Interesting. So yeah, we'll keep it in the background here so you guys can see the progress. These are pull tab packs. Let's see how I do opening it from behind here, though. Not too bad. I always prefer to just rip it open. So there are going to be 8, as I believe it. 7 to 8, but I think it's guaranteed pretty much 8 from what I understand. LR cards, those are sort of like the super rares, a lot of the most desirable, playable cards that you will be looking for that are, ones that are going to hurt a little bit to buy as a single. So getting them in a booster box is definitely preferred. You're going to get 2 rares per pack with the chance of them being upgraded. So as you can see here, here's our first rare. Gives a little bit of a sheen, a little bit of a shine to it. It's kind of subtle cold foil. And to start us off, we got our first LR of the box, and we got the Gundam RX 78, which is a good one because I was looking at decks that people are building, and this is a card that I'm definitely interested in. I'm definitely going to need a couple of those to make some decks. So that means we got 1 down of 8, and as you can see here, it's got some nice texturing in the background. They look absolutely phenomenal in person. Now, the 2 big hit cards out of here are going to be plus upgraded cards. So there are a number of them. I don't know how many, but you can get uncommon and rare, and the commons I believe are just I can't remember actually. Let me double check this since I'm on TCG Player right now. Let's see, rarity C plus. Does C plus only include the resource cards? They do. Okay, so the C plus are only the resource. The resource being this card in the back right here. So 1 card in the box will be upgraded to a C plus, which is a foil version of this with like a Gundam on it. And then there's a case hit, which has a chance of being a C plus plus. You're not really ever expecting those though. But 2 of them will be either a uncommon rare or a LR. I guess sort of like the legendary rare. I'm not sure what LR stands for, honestly. LRs are definitely not guaranteed. LR pluses are not guaranteed, but you will definitely always get 2 plus cards in the booster box. Man, even the rares look so good. And coming up next, we have a rare plus. So our rare plus of the box, one of them is going to be a Kagalia Yui. Okay, I might as well just get this out of the way. I am not a big Gundam person. I'm getting into this because, I watched a couple Gundam shows when I was younger, and I thought the card game looked fun and the cards look awesome. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce some of these cards because I don't want to butcher them too bad. So yeah, that is our rare plus for this box. Let me see what this one would normally go for if I were to buy a single of it. It's about a $20 one. I had to pause for a second there to look for my penny sleeves, which I can't locate, so we're just going to set this one down to the side. So here's the bad news about pulling a plus card that early in the booster box. Once I pull the second plus card, that's it. There are going to be no more plus cards in this booster box, so we'll just have the LRs to pull, so you kind of know what to expect in this. And that's one of my pet peeves with this. As fun as it is to open and look at the cards and like getting the plus cards, eventually the boxes teeter out and you know what to expect. You know that you're not going to get anything else super crazy. So it does kind of lose its fun in that regard, but we still have the LRs to look forward to for now. And then see, you can get this in like common. That's if you get this one in C++, or even C++, it's like a $30 card. The other ones are typically around $5 for that one in C++. Or sorry, the C pluses are normally in like the $5 range, but that one in particular, if you were to get it, is about 30. Because everybody wants the OG Gundam. So we got one more like big hit card to look forward to in here. And that's not just with this card game, any card game for me. Once you kind of like know what to expect and you know the rest of the cards that you open are not going to be anything special, then it kind of loses a little bit of the fun. Okay, so we got a LR in this pack. Amazing texture on here. Kshatriya. I know how to pronounce that one because I've heard people saying it in other videos. But they do a really good job of texturing these cards. And I have looked into how to play the game, right? I'm not just buying this to collect and throw in a binder. I am going to go down to local card stores, but the problem is with this game right now, it's really hard to get what you need to start building decks and playing. The starter decks are very hard to locate, and when you do locate them, they are expensive. So it's a little bit of work to be able to get into this and build a deck. And I am definitely the type of person where, oh, you could say just buy singles, but oh, here's our second plus card. So that means we are already hitting our plus card cap here. And it is an R+, not an LR+. We got the Strike Rogue. Let's see how we did with this guy. Something tells me it's probably not too crazy of a plus card. Let's see. Strike Rogue is about a $12 single, so we didn't do too great on our plus cards, but it is a really cool looking one. I didn't plan on making a red deck to start, so let's see. How many LRs do we have? We have 2 LRs, so that means we still have 6 LRs to go in the box. However, we're only at the start of the box here. So you can see the issue with card games that are done this way. I much prefer them when they're almost like true random, where there's a huge discrepancy to keep you opening the box and being excited no matter how many hits you've already kind of revealed. Shenlong Gundam. I think that's one of the better rares you can pull, if I remember right. That's a pretty good one that people look for, I believe. Because now we know that, well, we still have the holographic resource to look forward to, and then we have 6 LRs, but then after that, if I hit those somewhat early, that means we're done with the box pretty much. And for me, it's fun to keep opening because I need a lot of these cards to make decks, but eventually it'll get to the point where you have everything you need, and if you're opening, ooh, Gundam Death Scythe, look at how awesome that is. So most rares are in the, I think this is one of the higher ones. Most rares are like no more than $2 or $3. A lot of them are $1, and in some cases 50 cents. LRs, I'm actually not sure. Most of them I think are around the $5 to $10 range. Let me see if I can check that Death Scythe and see, just to give you an idea of like how much you would be paying for singles. So that Death Scythe is a $3.64 card. But playsets in this game are 4 cards, so that kind of adds up if you got to buy singles. So that's why if you're new to the game, I always prefer to open booster boxes, as I was saying earlier before I rambled on about something else. Not only do I get to have fun opening the booster box, but I get to make content for you guys at the same time. So while you could just buy singles and build a deck that way, which for this game I will probably have to resort to it a bit because they're just so hard to get. Okay, here comes our C+ card. And okay, well, it's not the original Gundam. Like I said, I'm not well versed in Gundam enough to know which Gundam this is, but it looks really cool. I am starting to watch some Gundam shows. This is Dull Gundam, it looks like. Oh, Dual Gundam. Not Dull, Dual. Gundam 00 or 00, which I've been enjoying. I'm about 8 episodes into that. So this card game is like getting me to not just be that kid that watched Gundam Wing on Toonami. I watched the original Gundam show on DVD. 8th MS Team I had on DVD. I watched that, loved it. And then Gundam Wing. Watched all those when I was younger. But then nothing really ever since. So this has been a really fun way to kind of get back into Gundam with the cards and picking a show to start with. And we'll go from there and, watch more in the future. Probably after 00, I'm going to watch Iron-Blooded Orphans. Though I've heard it's better to watch some of the other Gundam shows first, since that one's so different. But I know this card game uses a lot of the Iron Blood Gundam and Mobile Suit cards, so I don't know, we'll see. Let me know if you guys have a recommendation on what ones I should watch if I'm like getting back into it for the first time in a while. There's the Dual Gundam, that's the resource that we got. So we're up to 3 LRs, 2 R pluses hit. So we are still looking for those 6 LRs still. Let me just see what the top hits. Like, what LRs should I be getting excited for if I were to pull them? Let's see. So the top LR would be, oh, Kshatriya. So this one that I pulled right here is actually the #1 normal rarity LR pull. So that's a really good one to get one of. That saves me about 13 bucks from having to buy a single if I wanted to build a deck with that card. Wing Gundam 0. And Freedom Gundam and Gundam Death Save. So the two big ones are Wing Gundam 0 and Kshatriya. The other ones start falling down into the $2 range. Freedom Gundam is $5, and then Gundam Death Save is about the $4 card that we pulled here. So we're actually off to a pretty good start with our LRs. If I can pull the Gundam Wing, or Wing Gundam 0, we'll be in a pretty good spot. Gundam Sandrock and Lagao. Yeah, I've been enjoying this. I really look forward to playing it. It's going to take me a little bit to be able to build a deck that I feel confident enough to bring to a locals. And, you know, I'm sure I'll put together some random deck at some point. I'm not probably going to be ready for that for a bit. I'll probably have to fill out my deck with a few singles from TCG Player, because I'm not going to be able to always buy booster boxes for this. But the way I look at it is, like, honestly, when I decide to play a card game and not just, like, collect it, I'm not just paying for the fun of collecting, I'm paying for the social aspect of it, right? I don't get out too much. I stream. I'm a full-time streamer, so I'm streaming almost every night. Like, all my Saturdays are always spent streaming, especially Saturdays. But most nights I'm just sitting at home streaming. So, like, for me to be able to pay for not just being able to have fun collecting the cards, but also playing them and getting out, going to local card stores and playing. We got Dual Gundam Assault Shroud with an amazing pattern here, LR. That's more than worth it to me. So, paying for the collectible side of it and paying for the social get out of the house and go meet some people and play some card games and do something other than stream aspect of it as well. Which I did with Star Wars Unlimited for a bit when that came out, had a blast with it. Unfortunately, their tournament schedule didn't really line up with, you know, their nights where they would play were very conflicting. They only played one time a week, I believe, and it was just like it never worked out with my schedule, so I had to stop going. This one here, there's 2 card stores near me that play it, and all on different nights, different times, so it's going to be a lot more flexible for me with Gundam. Okay, our rare Fortress Defense, and LR is a Unicorn Gundam. Wow, that is a beautiful card. Really love the colors on that one. Look at that, that really pops. I'm going to have a lot of fun looking through these cards and like being like, ooh, I want to build a deck around this card, and then looking online and seeing if I can find, you know, at the start I'm probably going to have to use other people's deck builds to kind of work around what I have, because being brand new to the game, as much as I'd love to build my own deck, I probably will need a little bit of guidance for building decks at first, but I love building my own wacky decks. I love using off-meta decks, trying to take people by surprise. And 2 rares, Gundam Aerial and Delta Plus. Let me just move this giant stack of bulk that is starting to tower over here. Gonna have to get myself some new card storage. It's a rare. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there should still be 3 LRs in here. I'm not sure if you're able to pull more than one. Like, can I pull a second Kshatriya? Guess we'll find out. Let's Gundam and Citizens take a stand. So in terms of value, like from my box value, we're looking at like, I don't know, 20, 30, 40, 50, 55, probably about $55, $60 in the hollows I've pulled right now, like just the LRs and stuff like that. And then all the bulk, like that adds up too. You kind of have to open a couple booster boxes when you're getting started, right? If you want to like get a full playset of all the cards, because buying all these separate on TCG Player would certainly be that's a lot of cards. That's a lot of singles to buy. But by that time, by the time you're buying 4 copies of every card, commons, uncommons, rares, I mean, I think there's still a lot of value if you're brand new to the game to open a couple of booster boxes. Because those commons and uncommons will add up. Eventually, after you hit your playsets, then yeah, it's not as worth it. But when you still need playsets, it's certainly worth it. Rare is Deep Devotion and choose Demi Trainer. Choo Choo. Choo Choo? It's a fun name to say. But yeah, be patient. Apparently this is very hard to get right now if you're looking to get into it. They're gonna apparently reprint the second set. No word on reprinting the first set, which is why I'm gonna focus on getting packs for the first set rather than the second, since a reprint of the second pack set is coming, apparently. And we got another LR, which is Freedom Gundam. Did I get a Freedom Gundam? Let's find out. Nope. Okay, so still all singles. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still 2 more LRs to go. Hopefully a Wing Gundam Zero. I hear, though, that Wing Gundam Zero is a pretty contentious card. It's like the top card in the meta right now, and it's very strong, very powerful. So I'm not even sure I'd make a deck using that card, considering how widely used it is and hated in many instances, because people are just so tired of facing it. Our LR is Justice Gundam. I hope you guys are enjoying the Gundam content. You know, eventually, maybe if I get good enough at the game and I start participating at locals and I start building some fun decks, maybe I can even make my own deck videos for you guys, like I used to do with Star Wars for a little bit. How many? I think we still have 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nope, 1 more LR. 1 more to go, and it looks like there's 2 packs left. So while, you know, what most people do is, and you got to be careful buying loose packs online unless you're sure, okay, this pack was hard to open, that you're not going to get screwed over by somebody that's selling packs from a booster box that are light packs. Usually once people open their 2+ cards, at that point a lot of people just sell the loose packs, or once they've opened their 8 LRs and their 2+ cards, they'll usually just get rid of the other packs that they know are going to have nothing in it. So you got to keep that in mind. Okay, here's our last LR, which is a Buster Gundam. Very cool looking, another red. Maybe the first decks I build will be based off of what LRs I'm pulling. Now, I know that this pack is going to have nothing in it, but, you know, we're going to open it anyway because guess what? I need cards to play this game. And it could be a God pack, you never know. God packs do exist in Gundam Card Game. And it is The Witch and the Bride and Marita Cruz, which I think is one of the really good playable rares, so good that we opened that pack anyway. But that's going to do it for the booster box. Here's a recap. Our plus cards, our Strike Rogue rare, and this Eula Athena. Oh my god, why am I trying to pronounce this again? It's actually really hard to read that name. We'll just say Atha. Looks like Athha, which is a $20 R plus rare, so not too bad on that one. And then our resource. Love the hollow patterns on these. And then our 8 LRs. Thankfully, we pulled a Kshatriya, the #1 rare pull that you can get. What does this guy do? When paired with a Cyber Newtype or Newtype pilot, choose 1 to 2 enemy units, deal 1 damage to them. Okay, so like a ping deck. That sounds fun. Alright. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. There'll be more Gundam Card Game coming in the future, so be sure to subscribe if you like watching box openings. And also my journey into this card game. Have a good one.